Good morning everyone. This is going to be a video to show you today's maths learning, which is about rounding to 10, 100 and 1000. Something we've covered before in class, and the kind of golden rule to think about when you're rounding is if it's 5 or more, let it soar, which means round it to the next one up, and if it's 4 or less, let it rest, and that means keep it on the same 10, 100 or 1000 that you're already on, rather than going to the one before. So let's have a look at this first one. So it's saying here to use this number line to help you complete the sentences. So to do what it means by that is to think of the number. So you've got 63, and it's saying what does it round to? It rounds to something to the nearest 10. So we look at the number line and think, right, where is 63 on there? So we can count from 60 to 61, 62, 63. So it's there. And then we think, which 10 is that nearest to? So is it closer to 60 or is it closer to 70? Or you can think, you can look at that the ones number and say, right, well that's 4 or less. So the rule says let it rest. And that means let it rest on the current 10 that it's on. Or you can look there and think, actually it's closer to 60. So 60 is what you would put in there. 63 rounds to 60 to the nearest 10. I'll let you think about the other ones. So you've got 74, 67, 78. Use a number line to help you if you wish, or you can just look at that one's number and think, do I need to round it up or down? Okay, this one here, you're not using the number line anymore. Although if you need to draw a number line, go for it, and you can do that instead. But here it's rounding each number to the nearest 10. So again, we're looking at the ones number, and we're seeing, or actually you might be able to see here, there's a pattern there. And then think, right, how do I round each number to the nearest 10? And just think about how you change each of those numbers. Okay, here we're moving on now, so we're rounding to the nearest 100 this time. So this time we have to look at the tens number. So find the tens number in each of those and then think, do we need to round up or down? So for instance, for this one, we've got 1532. So we look at that tens number and we say, right, that's less than 4, so it's 4 or less. So we let it rest. So we're going to keep the hundreds number the same. So now we've got 1000. Now I'm trying to draw with some mouse, so hopefully this works. 1500, so it's 500. That rounds down to 0, and the 2 goes to a 0 as well. So anything after what we've rounded is a 0 as well. So the closest 100 to 1532 is 1500. See if you can try them for the others. And it's also asking you here, what do you notice about your answers in part A? So what do you notice about all of those? In question 4, it says round the numbers to the correct values. So you start off with one number, and then you're asking it to round to the nearest 10, to the nearest 1000, sorry, to the nearest 100, and to the nearest 1000. So again, so for the first question, you look at the ones number. Do you round up or down? For the next question, come back to this and then look at the tens number and what is it, which 100 is it closer to. And then if you come to the last one, look at the hundreds number and think, right, what is that closer to? Is 743, what 1000 is that closest to? And you've got the same for this one, a bit different. In question 5, you've got to circle the numbers that round to 650 when rounded to the nearest 10. So have a look at all of those numbers, which ones round to 650. This one's rounding, which one's round to 5400 when rounded to the nearest 100, and this one, which numbers round to 12,000 when rounded to the nearest 1000. And then the other sheet starts to apply that knowledge to different word problems. She says, I'm thinking of an integer. An integer just means a number. a number that doesn't have any decimal places. So anything that's a whole number. So I'm thinking of a number that is 370 when rounded to the nearest 10. So here you've got some questions to fill in. So what numbers can't it be less than? So what is the lowest number it could be that would round to 370? And what's the highest number it could be but would still round to 370? So then that should give you your range. It must be between those two. And here it's what it might be. So there's not a definite answer there. There's probably 10 answers. Maybe for an extra challenge, see if you can find all 10. Is it 10? Here then you're completing the table. So you've got to round all these numbers to the nearest 10. Then round all those numbers to the nearest 100. Then round all those numbers to the nearest 1,000 here. Again, another word problem. So you've got the digit cards 1991. And Mo is trying to make a 4-digit number using the digit cards. And his number rounds to 9,100. And you round it to the nearest 100. What number does Mo make? So using those numbers there. And Kim wants to make a different 4-digit number using the digit cards. Her number rounds to 10,000 when you round it to the nearest 1,000. So you think of what that number is, but the question is, what does Kim's number round to the nearest 10? So whatever answer you find out for that bit, what is that answer rounded to the nearest 10? And then finally, Dexter says 37 rounded to the nearest 100 is 0. Is Dexter correct? Try and represent your answer with a number line. Okay, hopefully that helps. And I'll check out the video for the next forces bit in a moment. Okay.